The bridge of the fallen star hummed with dying power. Warning lights painted the walls red and orange. Captain Do-Yun stood before the navigation console, his six-fingered hands gripping the edge so hard his knuckles turned white. Behind him, the crew worked in silence. Everyone knew they were running out of time. "How long do we have?" Do-Yun asked without turning around. Engineer Ji-Woo looked up from his station. His face was tired. Dark circles hung under his eyes. 2 jumps, maybe 3 if we shut down everything except life support. After that, the ship dies. "We die with it." Do-Yun closed his eyes. 2 jumps. That was all that remained of the Velran people's hope. Once they had been millions. Their cities had covered 3 planets. Their art and music had been celebrated across 50 star systems. Now they were down to 800 souls on a ship held together by prayers and spare parts. "Captain, we could try the Andari system," said pilot Huna from her station. She was young, barely into her 3rd decade. Her blue skin still had the brightness of youth, not yet faded by years of running and hiding. They were neutral during the war. Maybe they would take us. "The Andari refused us 6 months ago," said Elder Taejin. His voice was soft but firm. He sat in the corner of the bridge, wrapped in the traditional robes of a Velran historian. "They said housing us would anger the Union. No one wants to anger the Union anymore." Hyuna's shoulders dropped. She turned back to her controls and said nothing more. Do-Hyun understood her pain. Every system they had tried had turned them away. Some had been polite about it. Others had fired weapons at them before they even finished their request. The galaxy had made its decision. The Velran were guilty of refusing to choose sides in a war that had torn the Union apart. For that crime, they would be erased. "Show me the unexplored sectors," Do-Hyun said. Ji-Woo raised his head. "Captain, those regions are quarantined. The Union forbids contact. The Union has already condemned us to death," Do-Hyun replied. His voice was calm but cold. "Their rules mean nothing to us now." The navigation display shifted. Most of the galaxy glowed with familiar colors marking Union space. But in one corner, a small yellow marker blinked. Do-Hyun leaned closer. "What is that?" Huna pulled up the information. System designation Solmar 1 inhabited planet marked as Sol 3. Common name Earth. Status quarantined. Reason: dangerous primitive species. Contact forbidden by Union Decree 7742. Dangerous? Elder Taejin stood and walked to the display. His old eyes studied the information. "What makes them dangerous?" "The records don't say much," Huna continued reading. "They've only had radio technology for about 100 of their years. No faster than light travel. No energy weapons. But the Union marked them as unpredictable and violent. The quarantine has been in place for 73 years. Primitives," Ji-Woo muttered. "We're desperate enough to ask primitives for help?" "We're desperate enough to try anything," Do-Hyun said. He pointed at the yellow marker. "Set course for Earth." The bridge fell silent. Everyone stared at him. "Captain," Taejin said slowly, "if they are as violent as the Union claims, then they will kill us quickly," Do-Hyun interrupted. "Better than dying slowly in the void. Better than watching our children starve while we drift between stars." Huna's hands moved across her console, calculating jump coordinates. "It will take all our remaining fuel. If they refuse us, we won't be able to leave." "I understand. We'll arrive in their space with barely any power. Our shields will be down. Our weapons are already offline. We'll be completely helpless." "I understand," Do-Hyun repeated. He looked around the bridge at his crew. These people had followed him for 3 years through hell. They deserved the truth. "I won't lie to you. This is probably suicide, but it's the only choice we have left. If anyone objects, speak now." No one spoke. Ji-Woo broke the silence first. "The engines are ready." "Navigation locked," Huna added. Taejin placed his hand on Do-Hyun's shoulder. "The ancestors guide us, Captain. Whether to death or salvation, we go together." Do-Hyun nodded. He opened the ship-wide communication channel. His voice echoed through every corridor and room of the fallen star. "This is the captain. We are making our final jump. Our destination is a world called Earth. We know little about it except that the Union fears it. Perhaps that is reason enough to hope. Prepare for jump in 5 minutes. May the stars light our path." He closed the channel. The crew began their final preparations. Parents held children. Partners held each other. Everyone knew this was the end of their journey, one way or another. "Captain." Yuna's voice cut through the quiet. Sensors are picking up something. A ship just entered the system behind us. Doyun's blood went cold. Identity? It's a Union patrol cruiser. Kurnath class. They're powering weapons. How long until they're in range? 4 minutes. Jiwoo slammed his fist on his console. They followed us. They want to finish what they started. Can we fight? Do-hyun asked, though he already knew the answer. With what? Jiwoo's voice was bitter. We have no weapons, no shields, and barely enough power to jump. We're dead if we stay. Do-hyun made his decision in seconds. Hyuna, jump now. The calculations aren't complete. We could jump now. That's an order. Hyuna's hands flew across her controls. The ship began to shake. The lights flickered. Through the view screen, Do-hyun saw the Union cruiser growing larger. He saw the flash of their weapons charging. Jumping! Hyuna shouted. The universe twisted. Reality bent around the fallen star like paper folding. The Union cruiser vanished. The stars stretched into lines. Then everything went white. When the light faded, they were somewhere else. A yellow star burned in the distance. Alarms screamed throughout the ship. Somewhere below, something exploded. Damage report! Do-hyun called out. Hull breaches on decks 4 through 7. Jiwoo's voice was panicked. Life support failing in section C and D. We're venting atmosphere. The jump drive is dead. Main power is down to 8%. How long until life support fails completely? Jiwoo checked his readings. His face went pale. 6 hours. Maybe 8. Do-hyun looked at the view screen. A blue and green planet hung in space before them. Earth. It looked beautiful. Peaceful. Nothing like a world full of dangerous primitives. Send a distress signal, he ordered. All frequencies. All languages in our database. What should I say? Hyuna asked. Do-hyun thought for a moment. Then he spoke clearly. Say this, we mean no harm. We are dying. Please help. Hyuna transmitted the message. They waited. The ship continued to die around them. Emergency lights flickered. The temperature began to drop as heating systems failed. Taejin stood beside Do-hyun. Do you think they'll answer? I don't know, Do-hyun admitted. But we'll find out soon enough. They watched the blue planet and waited for judgment. Dr. Mina had been working the night shift at the SETI Research Center when every alarm in the building started screaming at once. She dropped her coffee and ran to her station. The screen showed something impossible. A signal was coming from Earth's orbit, not from Mars, not from deep space, right above their heads. Her hands shook as she pulled up the data. The signal was repeating on multiple frequencies. It wasn't random noise from a satellite. This was structured, organized. Someone was trying to talk. Please tell me I'm seeing this wrong, said her colleague Marcus from across the room. You're seeing it right, Mina replied. Her heart was pounding. We have first contact, right now. Above us. She started recording everything. Her fingers flew across the keyboard, running translation programs and pattern recognition software. The message was short and repeated every 30 seconds. The language was completely unknown, but the mathematical patterns suggested grammar and syntax. Call everyone, she said. Call the government. Call the military. Call everyone right now. Within 20 minutes, the building was full of people. Within an hour, the President of the United States was on a video call. Within 2 hours, every major government on Earth was watching. Mina worked through the night. She compared the alien language to every human language in the database. Nothing matched perfectly, but patterns emerged. The message had 3 parts. She could feel it. 3 distinct concepts being repeated. At dawn, she had it. We mean no harm. We are dying. Please help, she spoke the words out loud. The room went silent. President Sujin's face appeared on the main screen. She was in the White House Situation Room. Generals and advisors surrounded her. Dr. Mina, are you certain of this translation? As certain as I can be without more data, Mina replied. But yes, Madam President. They're asking for help. They could be lying, said General Dae-hyun, the chairman of the Joint Chiefs. This could be an invasion tactic. Then it's a strange one, Minha said. She pulled up another screen. We've located the source. It's a ship in high orbit. Our telescopes got a visual. It's badly damaged. There are hull breaches. Parts of it are venting atmosphere into space. The image appeared on screen. The alien vessel looked like nothing from Earth. It was elegant once, probably beautiful. Now it was broken. Pieces of metal hung loose. Holes gaped in the hull. Small objects drifted away from it, debris or bodies. Someone in the Pentagon gasped. "There are people dying up there," Mina said quietly. President Sujin closed her eyes. "This is impossible. We're not ready for this. We don't have protocols. We don't have procedures." "With respect, Madam President," said Minha, "they don't look ready either." The president looked at her through the screen. "What do you recommend, Doctor?" "Help them," Mina said without hesitation. "We can figure out everything else later. Right now, people are dying." Before anyone could respond, another alarm went off, this time from the Space Force monitoring station. "Madam President," an officer said urgently, "we have a second ship. Just appeared at the edge of the solar system. Different design, much larger, and it's moving toward the damaged vessel." "Are they reinforcements?" the president asked. The officer shook his head. "No, ma'am. The second ship is powering weapons. They're hunting the first one." The room exploded into chaos. Everyone started talking at once. Minha felt sick. They had run away from someone. They had come to Earth not for conquest but for escape. President Sujin raised her hand. Silence fell. "Commander Wujin, are you listening?" On another screen, an Asian man in a spacesuit appeared. He was aboard the International Space Station. "Yes, Madam President. We see them from here. We see both ships. Can you reach the damaged vessel?" Wujin looked at someone off-screen. He nodded. "Yes, we have a shuttle docked. We can reach them in 40 minutes. Maybe less. Is it safe?" "Nothing about this is safe," Wujin replied. "But if we don't try, they're dead for sure." President Sujin looked around the situation room. She looked at the generals. She looked at her advisors. Then she looked back at Minha. "Dr. Minha, you started this. What does your heart tell you?" Mia thought about the message. 3 simple ideas. No threats. No demands. Just a plea. My heart says they're scared. They're running. And they chose us because they had nowhere else to go. The president took a deep breath. "Commander Wujin, you are authorized to launch a rescue mission. Bring them to the ISS. We'll figure out the rest from there." "Understood, Madam President. Launching in 5 minutes." "General Daehyun," the president continued, "prepare our defense forces. If that second ship threatens Earth, I want us ready." "Yes, ma'am." The president looked directly at Minha. "Doctor, keep translating. I need to know everything they say." Minha nodded. She watched Wujin's screen as he and his crew prepared their shuttle. They moved fast, checking equipment and running through emergency procedures. These were brave people. They were flying toward something completely unknown. The shuttle launched. Minha watched it climb toward the broken alien ship. On another screen, she tracked the second vessel. It was still coming, but slowly. Maybe they were being cautious. Maybe they were preparing their weapons. "Dr. Minha," said a voice in her headset. It was Wujin. "I'm going to broadcast to them when we get close." "Can you give me something to say?" Minha worked quickly. She had only started to understand their language, but she had to try. She put together something simple. The same structure as their message. "Say this," she told him. She sent him the phonetic sounds. "It should mean we hear you. We come to help. Do not fear." "Got it," Wujin said. "Approaching now." Through the shuttle's cameras, everyone on Earth watched. The alien ship grew larger. It was huge, bigger than 3 aircraft carriers. And it was dying. Lights flickered across its surface. More debris drifted away. Then they saw movement. Faces appeared in the windows. Alien faces, blue skin, large eyes. 6 fingers pressed against the glass. "Oh my God," Wujin whispered. "There are children? I see children." Minha's throat tightened. She saw them too. Small faces, scared faces. Some were crying. Parents held them close. Wujin broadcast the message Minha had given him. The sounds echoed into space. They waited. The aliens responded, not with words, with action. An airlock on their ship began to open. An invitation. "Here we go," Wujin said. "Docking now." The shuttle connected with the alien vessel. The airlock sealed. Pressure equalized. Minha held her breath. The inner door opened. Aliens stood on the other side. They looked exhausted, terrified. Some were injured. Blood that was too purple stained their clothes. But they weren't holding weapons. They held children. They held the sick and elderly. One of them stepped forward. He was tall and wore what looked like a captain's uniform. He spoke. The translation software worked on his words. "Thank you," it said. "Thank you for not letting us die." Wu Jin moved forward. He removed his helmet. The alien captain stared at his face. Human and alien looked at each other for the first time. Wu Jin smiled. He opened his arms. "Welcome," he said. "You're safe now." The alien captain's legs gave out. He fell to his knees. He started crying. Around him, other aliens broke down. Some sobbed. Some laughed. Some just sank to the floor in relief. Wu Jin's crew moved into action. They carried out medical supplies, food, and emergency oxygen. They worked side by side with the aliens, helping them evacuate the dying ship. On Earth, Mina watched with tears running down her face. Around her, hardened military officers wiped their eyes. Even General Daehyun's stern face softened. President Sujin spoke softly. "How many are there?" "We're counting now," an officer replied. "Initial estimate 800. Maybe more." "Get them all," the president ordered. "Every single one. I don't care how many trips it takes." Over the next 6 hours, shuttles went back and forth. The ISS filled with refugees. NASA stations in other countries prepared to help. More shuttles launched from Earth. The second ship arrived at the edge of weapons range. It was massive. A warship. But when it saw humans rescuing the aliens, it stopped. It didn't fire. It just watched. A transmission came from the warship. Mina translated it quickly. It was a warning to Earth. "Those people are criminals. Return them to Union custody immediately." President Sujin's response was broadcast across all frequencies. "We don't know your union, we don't know your laws, but we know people who need help when we see them. Earth grants them asylum." The warship didn't respond. It held position for 2 hours. Then slowly it turned and left the solar system. On the ISS, Commander Wu Jin helped the last alien child out of the damaged ship. She was small and scared. She held a toy that looked like a stuffed animal. Wu Jin carried her gently to the shuttle. "You're going to like Earth," he told her, even though she couldn't understand him yet. "We have ice cream, and pizza, and people who will keep you safe." Below them, Earth waited. 7 billion people watched the news. They saw the images of the rescue. They saw the alien children. They saw their own people helping without hesitation. Humanity had just announced itself to the galaxy, and the first thing they said was simple: "We help those who need it." 3 weeks had passed since the Velren arrived on Earth. The temporary facility in Geneva looked more like a small village now. Prefabricated buildings housed 800 aliens in comfort. Human doctors worked alongside Velren healers. Teachers from both species helped children adjust. Slowly, carefully, 2 civilizations began to know each other. Dr. Mena walked through the facility every morning. Today she carried her tablet and a box of Swiss chocolate. She had learned that Velren couldn't eat chocolate, but they loved watching humans' reactions to it. It had become a little ritual. She found Huna in the recreation area, teaching a group of human children how to draw Velren starships. The young pilot had learned English remarkably fast. Her accent was strange, musical, but her words were clear. "Good morning, Dr. Minha," Yuna said with a smile. "Look what Emma drew." A small girl held up a picture. It showed the fallen star surrounded by human shuttles. Little hearts floated around everything. "That's beautiful," Mina said. She sat down next to Huna. "How are you feeling today?" "Better," Huna replied. "I had nightmares again, but fewer than before." Mina nodded. Many Velren had nightmares. Years of running had left marks that medicine couldn't heal, but slowly they were recovering. Earth's kindness was working like medicine for their souls. "Elder Tajin wants to meet with you today," Huna said. "He's been going through our archives. He found something important." "How important?" "Very important. He won't tell me what it is. He says humans need to know first." Minha found the elder in the library building. He sat surrounded by holographic displays, old Velren books and human tablets. He looked up when she entered. His old eyes were bright with excitement. "Dr. Minha," he said, "thank you for coming. Please sit. I have a story to tell you." Minha sat. Tajin waved his hand and a holographic image appeared. It showed a star map. "This is the galaxy as we knew it 12,000 years ago," he began. The Galactic Union was young then. Only 15 species had joined. My people, the Velren, were great explorers. We traveled everywhere, meeting new civilizations, learning new things. The star map changed. New dots appeared representing different species. Over thousands of years, the Union grew. 100 species, then 500, then 2,000. It became powerful. And like all powerful things, it became afraid. Afraid of what? Minya asked. Afraid of change. Afraid of species that didn't follow the rules. Tejan brought up another image. It showed a list of names. These are the quarantined worlds, species that the Union decided were too dangerous to contact. We always thought there were only a few. But I've been reading the deep archives, the old files that most people forgot about. He highlighted the list. Minya's eyes went wide. That's over 50 species. 63 to be exact, Tejan said. All marked as dangerous. All quarantined. All isolated from the galaxy. He pointed to one name. Earth is just the newest addition to this list. What were they dangerous for? Minya asked. What did they do? That's the interesting part, Tejan said. His finger moved down the list. This species developed faster than light travel in only 200 years after discovering electricity. Too fast, the Union said. This one refused to stop exploring dangerous regions of space. Too reckless. This one had too many different cultures that fought with each other. Too unstable. Minna felt a chill. The Union quarantined species for being different. Exactly, Tejan said. And do you know what happened to most of these species? He didn't wait for an answer. Nothing. The Union isolated them until they either gave up and followed every rule perfectly, or they destroyed themselves from the pressure of being alone. That's horrible, Minha whispered. Yes, Tejan agreed. My people never knew the full truth. We believed the Union was good, that it kept everyone safe. Now I understand. The Union doesn't want safety, it wants control. Why are you telling me this? Tejan looked at her seriously. Because you need to understand what you've done by helping us. You've challenged the Union. They will come back, and next time they won't just ask politely. Before Minha could respond, alarms sounded throughout the facility. Her phone buzzed with an emergency alert. She looked at the message and her heart sank. A Galactic Union ship just entered orbit, she read aloud. They're demanding to speak with Earth's leaders. Within an hour, Minha was in Geneva's emergency government building. President Sujin was there via video link. General Daehyun stood with his arms crossed, looking angry. Captain Do-hyun represented the Velrin, with Hyuna translating. The Union ambassador appeared on the main screen. He called himself Thorvin. He looked like a large insect standing upright, with 4 arms and eyes that reflected light like mirrors. His voice was cold and mechanical through the translation device. Greetings, primitive humans of Earth, he began. I am Ambassador Thorvin of the Galactic Union. I come with an official message from the High Council. We're listening, President Sujin said. Her voice was calm but firm. The individuals you are harboring are convicted criminals, Thorvin continued. They refused to support the Union during the War of the Four Sectors. This makes them traitors. Union law demands their immediate execution. We are prepared to be merciful. Return them to us within 30 days, and we will not hold Earth responsible for this illegal interference. We've investigated these charges, President Sujin replied. We've spoken with Captain Do-hyun and his people. They didn't commit any crimes. They simply refused to take sides in someone else's war. Refusing the Union is a crime, Thorvin said flatly. You are too young to understand galactic politics. Do not make this mistake. Return the criminals. This is your only warning. General Daehyun stepped forward. And if we refuse? Then Earth will be considered a hostile entity, Thorvin said. Trade with all Union species will be forbidden. Your world will be isolated, and if you resist, we will send a fleet to enforce compliance. You have 30 days to decide. The screen went black. President Sujin rubbed her temples. Options? We could fight, General Daehyun said. But we'd lose. We have nuclear weapons and conventional forces. They have faster-than-light travel and energy weapons. It wouldn't even be close. We could negotiate, suggested a diplomat. Ask for more time. Try to find a compromise. Or we could surrender the Velrin, someone said quietly. Everyone turned to look at the speaker, a senator from Europe. He raised his hands defensively. I'm not saying we should. I'm just saying it's an option. Captain Do-hyun stood. You should surrender us, he said. Everyone stared at him. We have brought danger to your world. We did not mean to, but it is true. Give us to them. Save yourselves. No, said President Sujin immediately. Absolutely not. But your people, Do-hyun began. My people don't abandon refugees because someone threatens us, President Sujin interrupted. She stood up, her eyes blazing. Let me be very clear, Captain. When humans make a promise, we keep it. We promised you safety. That promise stands, even if it means war, Do-hyun asked. Even then, the room was silent. Hyuna had tears in her eyes. Minya felt her throat tighten with emotion. President Sujin turned to address everyone. I'm calling an emergency session of the United Nations. We'll put this to a vote, but I already know what humanity will choose. We've seen the images of those children. We've heard the stories of Velrun families running for their lives. We're not giving them up. Over the next week, every nation on Earth voted. The result was overwhelming. 193 countries voted to grant the Velrun permanent asylum. 0 voted against. 3 abstained. The United Nations Secretary-General delivered Earth's response to the galaxy. Minya helped write it. The message was broadcast on all frequencies, translated into every Union language they could find. To the Galactic Union, we have received your ultimatum. We reject it. The Velrun people came to Earth asking for help. We gave it freely. We have investigated your charges against them and found no evidence of criminal behavior. They committed no act of violence. They harmed no one. Their only crime was refusing to participate in your war. If that is criminal behavior in your eyes, then your laws are unjust. Earth will not enforce unjust laws. The Velrun are under our protection. Any attack on them is an attack on humanity. We stand together. You have no authority here. Leave our solar system and do not return unless you come in peace. The message ended. Earth waited for the response. It came 3 days later. Not from the ambassador. From the Union High Council itself. The message was simple and terrifying. 30 days remain. Comply or face the consequences. That night, Mina sat with Hyuna on the roof of one of the facility buildings. They looked up at the stars. I'm sorry, Hyuna said quietly. We've brought you so much trouble. You've brought us something more important, Mina replied. You've shown us we're not alone, and you've given us a reason to be better than we were. What do you mean? Mina pointed at the stars. We've spent our whole history fighting each other. Now we have something bigger to think about, something that reminds us we're all human. All Earth, maybe we needed that. Even if it means war. Even then, Mina said. She smiled. Besides, you haven't seen what humans are like when we're fighting for something we believe in. We're kind of crazy that way. Hyuna laughed. It was the first real laugh Mina had heard. The countdown reached 0 at exactly midnight, Geneva time. Across Earth, people held their breath. Military forces stood ready. Telescopes pointed toward the outer solar system. Everyone waited to see if the Galactic Union would keep its threat. They didn't have to wait long. At 12:03, 47 ships appeared beyond Neptune's orbit. They materialized out of faster-than-light travel like ghosts becoming solid. Each vessel was massive, built for war, covered in weapons that could destroy cities. General Daehyun watched from the command center in Colorado. Around him, screens showed data from every sensor humanity had. His jaw tightened as the numbers came in. Fleet composition, he asked. An officer read from her station. 47 warships, 5 different species represented. Energy weapons detected on all vessels. Shield technology confirmed. They're moving into formation. Current heading, Earth. Time until they reach us. At their current speed, 6 hours. Daehyun nodded. 6 hours to prepare for humanity's first interstellar war. He opened a communication line to President Sujin. Madam President, the Union fleet has arrived. We're outnumbered and outgunned. I know, Sujin replied. Her face on the screen looked tired but determined. Proceed with the plan. Yes, ma'am. The plan had taken 2 weeks to develop. It was desperate and probably hopeless, but it was all they had. Captain Do-hyun and Engineer Jiwoo had shared everything they knew about Union technology. Human scientists and engineers had worked day and night to adapt it. The results were imperfect but real. Earth's satellites now carried basic shield generators. Fighter jets had been retrofitted with modified engines that could operate in space. Every weapon humanity possessed had been moved into position. At the Geneva facility, Hyuna suited up alongside Commander Woo Jin. She wore a modified flight suit that fit her Velrun body. Around them, 30 other pilots prepared for launch. Half were human, half were young Velrun who knew how to fly. You ready? Wujin asked her. Huna checked her controls. I've never flown with humans before. Your tactics are strange. Strange works, Wujin said with a grin. The Union expects everyone to fight by their rules. We don't know their rules, so we'll make up our own. That's insane. Exactly. They climbed into their fighters. The small spacecraft were a bizarre mix of human and alien technology. Velrun shield generators protected Earth's missiles and guns. It shouldn't have worked, but somehow it did. Humans had a talent for making impossible things function. In orbit, the defense fleet assembled. It was a desperate collection. Military spacecraft. Commercial satellites retrofitted with weapons. Even the ISS had been armed with railguns. Behind them, Earth hung like a blue jewel, home to 7 billion people who refused to surrender. The Union fleet stopped at the edge of Earth's moon. They took position in a perfect formation. Precise, mathematical. Exactly like the ancient military tactics the Velrun had seen 1,000 times. A transmission came through. Ambassador Thorvin's face appeared on screens across Earth. Humans of Earth, he said. Your time has expired. Surrender the Velrun criminals immediately, or we will take them by force. You cannot win this battle. Your technology is primitive. Your forces are weak. Do not waste lives on a fight you've already lost. President Sujin appeared on Earth's communication channels. Next to her stood Captain Do-hyun. Together they addressed both Earth and the Union fleet. Ambassador Thorvin, Sujin said. You come to our home and demand we surrender innocent people. You threaten us because we chose mercy over your laws. We have a message for you and your fleet. Captain Do-hyun spoke next, his words translated into every Union language. For 3 years my people ran. We begged for help from species we thought were friends. Everyone turned us away. Everyone except the humans. These primitives, as you call them, risked everything to save us. They are braver than any species in your Union. And now you will see what happens when you threaten people humans have promised to protect. General Daehyun gave a single order. All units engage. The battle began. Human fighters launched from hidden positions on the moon. They came in fast and chaotic, not following any formation the Union recognized. Wujin led his mixed squadron straight toward the Union's right flank. The enemy ships tried to track them, but the humans moved erratically. They spun and dove and changed direction in ways that made no tactical sense. They're trying to lock onto us, Yuna reported. Their targeting systems can't predict our movements. That's because we don't know what we're doing, Wujin laughed. Keep them confused. Break on my mark. 3, 2, 1, break! The squadron scattered in 30 different directions. Union weapons fired at empty space. Meanwhile, Earth's larger ships moved into position. They didn't have energy weapons, but they had nuclear missiles and railguns and human stubbornness. The first nuclear missile hit a Union shield and exploded harmlessly, but the 20 missiles that followed overwhelmed the shield. The 21st missile got through. A Union warship vanished in a ball of light. First blood, someone shouted in the command center. But the Union adapted quickly. They returned fire. Energy beams cut through space. One caught a human destroyer. The ship's shield held for 3 seconds before failing. The beam cut through the hull like paper. 200 people died instantly. Casualties confirmed on the Churchill, an officer reported. Her voice shook. Daehyun gripped his chair. Continue the attack. All forces, press forward. In space, Jiwoo watched from a defensive platform near the ISS. He was supposed to be safe here, away from the fighting. But the Velrun engineer couldn't stay away. He monitored the battle, analyzing Union tactics, looking for weaknesses. Wait, he muttered, studying the data. They're moving in patterns. Perfect mathematical patterns. He opened a channel to Wujin. Commander, listen. The Union ships are following programmed attack sequences. They're predictable. If you attack from angles that don't match their programming, they'll be slow to respond. What angles? Wujin asked, dodging enemy fire. The wrong ones. Hit them from below and above at the same time. Approach from spinning directions. Break every rule of space combat. Break every rule, Wujin repeated. We're good at that. All fighters, you heard him. Forget your training. Fly crazy. What followed was the strangest space battle in galactic history. Human and Velrun fighters attacked from impossible angles. They used Earth's gravity to slingshot around at speeds the Union couldn't match. They fired while spinning. They grouped together, then scattered, then regrouped somewhere else. The Union fleet tried to maintain formation, but formation required predictability, and humans were anything but predictable. One human pilot ran out of missiles, so he rammed his fighter into a Union ship's engine port. The explosion disabled the warship. The pilot ejected at the last second, laughing over the radio. "Did you see that?" he shouted. "Did you see that? I'm alive." Huna watched in amazement. "You're all insane." "Thank you," Wu Jin replied cheerfully, destroying another Union fighter. But humanity was taking losses. Ships exploded. Pilots died. The defense platforms around Earth were being destroyed one by one. The Union fleet was simply too powerful. They were being pushed back. Then something unexpected happened. 3 Union ships broke formation. They stopped firing. A transmission came from one of them. "Attention Earth forces," a new voice said. "This is Fleet Commander Vokran of the Kurnath Navy. We are ceasing hostilities." Everyone froze. Human and Union ships alike stopped moving. The battle paused in confusion. "What is this?" Thorvin's voice cut through the channel. "Commander Vokran, return to formation immediately." "No," Vokran replied. "I will not. My crew will not." His voice was heavy with emotion. "We came here expecting to fight primitives. We expected easy victory against a weak species. Instead, we found warriors. We found people willing to die protecting refugees they barely know. In 8,000 years of Union history, I have never seen such honor." More ships broke formation, 5, then 10, then 15. "This is mutiny!" Thorvin screamed. "You will all be executed for this." "Then execute us," another captain said. "I stand with Vokran. These humans fight with courage we've forgotten. They protect the innocent while we hunt them. I will not be part of this anymore." President Sujin's voice cut through the chaos. "All Union ships willing to cease fire, you are welcome to withdraw. We have no desire to kill those who don't want to fight." "Do not listen to them," Thorvin ordered. "All loyal ships continue the attack." But only half the fleet responded. The other half withdrew or simply stopped fighting. The Union formation collapsed into chaos. General Daehyun saw his chance. "All forces, focus fire on the ships still attacking. Protect those who are withdrawing." The battle turned into confusion. Human fighters covered Union ships that were trying to leave. Union ships fought each other. Thorvin's voice screamed orders that nobody followed. Finally, the remaining loyal ships retreated. They jumped away into faster-than-light travel. Ambassador Thorvin's final transmission was full of rage and promises of revenge. But he was gone. The battle was over. Earth had survived. In the silence that followed, Commander Wu Jin floated in his fighter, staring at the debris field that had been a battle. Ships from 3 different species drifted together. Some destroyed, some damaged, all victims of a war nobody truly. 6 months after the battle, Geneva looked like something from a science fiction movie, but it was real. Buildings designed by 3 different species stood side by side. Velran children played with human children in parks. Kurnath engineers worked with human scientists in laboratories. The city had become a symbol of something new, something the galaxy had never seen before. Dr. Minha walked through the central plaza with Elder Tajin. The old Velran moved slowly now, but his mind was as sharp as ever. They were going to the opening ceremony of the Coalition building. It was a new structure, built in just 4 months through a combination of human speed and alien technology. "Are you nervous?" Minya asked. "Terrified," Tajin admitted. "We're about to announce something that will anger the most powerful government in the galaxy." "Yes, I'm nervous." They entered the building through massive doors that adjusted automatically to fit both human and alien sizes. Inside, representatives from 15 different species waited. Some had been with Vokran's fleet. Others had arrived in secret over the past months, refugees looking for the world that had stood up to the Union. President Sujin stood at the podium. Beside her were Captain Doyun and Fleet Commander Vokran. Behind them hung 3 flags: Earth's blue and green world, the Velran's purple star, and Vokran's people's silver triangle. "Thank you all for coming," Sujin began. 6 months ago, humanity discovered we weren't alone in the universe. We learned there was a vast galactic union out there, a government spanning thousands of worlds and millions of years of history. We were excited. We were hopeful. We thought we would join this great civilization. She paused, looking around the room. Then we learned the truth. The union doesn't want members. It wants servants. It doesn't celebrate differences. It punishes them. It doesn't protect the innocent. It hunts them. Captain Doyun stepped forward. "My people ran from the Union for 3 years. We begged for help from species we thought were friends. We were turned away again and again. Then we found Earth. These humans who barely knew we existed risked everything to save us. They fought a battle they should have lost, and they won because they believed in something the Union has forgotten, that doing what's right matters more than doing what's easy. Vulcan spoke next. His translator made his deep voice sound almost human. I came to Earth as an enemy. I commanded ships that tried to destroy this world. But I couldn't do it. I couldn't keep fighting when I saw humans dying to protect people they'd just met. Dying to defend a principle. I asked myself, when did the Union forget how to do that? When did we stop being heroes and become bullies? Today, President Sujin continued, we're announcing something new. The Free Worlds Coalition. An alliance of species who believe in freedom, justice, and protecting those who need protection. We invite any species to join us. Not as servants, as equals. Not through threats. Through choice. The room erupted in discussion. Representatives from different species spoke in different languages. Some looked excited. Others looked worried. Everyone understood what this meant. This was rebellion. This was revolution. A small alien, barely 3 feet tall with soft fur and large ears, raised her hand. What about the Union? They'll come after us. They'll send their fleets. Let them come, Vulcan said. This time they'll face more than just Earth. They'll face all of us together. Over the following weeks, the coalition grew. Small species that had been ignored by the Union joined. Independent colonies that chafed under Union rules joined. Even a few Union members quietly sent representatives testing the waters, seeing if there was really an alternative. Huna became the first instructor at the Coalition Flight Academy. Human and alien pilots trained together, learning from each other. She taught them Velran precision. They taught her human improvisation. Together they created something better than either species had alone. Watch this, Wujin said during one training session. He demonstrated a maneuver that combined a Velran high-speed turn with a human combat roll. The result was a movement so fast and unpredictable that targeting computers couldn't track it. Huna tried it, then tried it again. By the third attempt, she was grinning. This is amazing. No Union pilot could do this. That's the point, Wujin said. We're not trying to be Union pilots. We're creating something new. In the engineering labs, Jiwoo worked with human scientists on a revolutionary project. They were building a faster-than-light drive using human manufacturing techniques and Velran theory. The Union design took 2 years to build. The human-Velran hybrid was finished in 4 months. How is this possible? A Union defector asked, staring at the completed drive. This should take years. Humans don't like waiting, Jiwoo explained. He'd learned English well now, though his accent was still musical. They see a problem and immediately start fixing it. They don't wait for permission. They don't follow the manual. They just try things until something works. That's chaos, the defector said. Yes, Jiwoo agreed with a smile. Beautiful chaos. President Sujin met regularly with Dr. Minha to discuss Earth's new role in galactic politics. Minha had become Earth's chief ambassador to alien species. She understood their languages, their cultures, and their fears. We're receiving requests from 12 more species wanting to join the coalition, Minha reported. But there's a problem. 3 of them are still officially Union members. If they join us, it's open rebellion. What do they want? Sujin asked. Freedom to make their own choices. The Union has been taking more and more control. They want what we have. Independence. Sujin thought for a moment. Tell them they're welcome. But make sure they understand the risks. The Union won't forgive this easily. They know, Minha said. They're willing to fight for it. Not everything was perfect. There were problems. Cultural misunderstandings happened daily. Some humans were afraid of the aliens. Some aliens couldn't adjust to Earth's chaotic way of doing things. There were protests. There were arguments. But they worked through it. Slowly. Together. One evening, Captain Do-hyun stood on a hill overlooking Geneva. He was old now, his blue skin faded with age, but his eyes were bright as he watched the city below. Human and alien lights mixed together. Music from 3 different worlds drifted on the wind. Huna found him there. She was older too, no longer the young pilot who had been terrified when they first arrived at Earth. Captain, the memorial ceremony is about to start. They had built a monument for those who died in the battle, human names and Velran names carved side by side in stone. Visitors left flowers and strange alien gifts. It was a place to remember and to heal. At the ceremony, families gathered. A human mother stood next to a Velran father, both having lost children in the fighting. They held hands. Different species. Same grief, same hope. Elder Tajin gave a speech. His voice was weak now, but his words were strong. We came to Earth as refugees, broken, hopeless. We expected nothing. We received everything. The humans gave us shelter when we had none. They fought for us when we couldn't fight. They believed in us when we'd stopped believing in ourselves. He paused, looking at the crowd of humans and aliens. My people have a saying, the greatest gift is not gold or power, it's belonging. Earth gave us that. Earth said, you belong here. You matter. You're home. For that, we will be forever grateful. There wasn't a dry eye in the crowd. 3 months later, a message arrived from the Galactic Union core worlds. It was addressed to President Sujin, but it was meant for everyone. The entire coalition watched as it played. The High Council appeared on screen. 12 ancient beings from 12 powerful species. They looked angry. To the illegal entity calling itself the Free Worlds Coalition, the head counselor began. You are in violation of Union law. You harbor criminals. You spread rebellion. You reject proper authority. We declare you enemies of galactic peace. Trade with Coalition worlds is forbidden. Travel to Coalition space is forbidden. Any species caught supporting the Coalition will face severe penalties. The message ended with a threat. This is your final warning. Dissolve the Coalition and return to Union control, or face complete isolation. You have been judged and found wanting. President Sujin called an emergency session. Every Coalition member attended, either in person or via video link. They've made their position clear, Sujin said. They want us to surrender, to give up everything we've built, to admit we were wrong. She looked around the room. I want to know what you think. Should we surrender? A Velran representative stood. No, never again. A Kurnath captain rose. We've tasted freedom. We won't go back. One by one, every representative spoke. Not one voted to surrender. Not one wanted to go back to the Union's control. Then we're agreed, Sujin said. We continue, we grow. We show the galaxy there's another way. Vakran stood. The Union called us wanting. They said we lack something. They're right. We lack fear. We lack blind obedience. We lack the willingness to abandon our principles for an easy life. He smiled. I'm proud of what we lack. The room erupted in cheers. That night, Minha and Huna sat together on the same rooftop where they'd sat 6 months ago. So much had changed. They were no longer just scientist and pilot. They were friends. Sisters in everything but blood. Do you think we'll win? Huna asked, looking at the stars. The Union is